Right, let's get into the episode, guys.
We were chatting for a whole hour. You're going to have a lot of footage to just cut down.
Oh, dude, if the camera doesn't stall again.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Hell
All right,
yeah.
you can keep an eye on that. Yeah.
That's why we keep looking over there, guys. There is
Yeah.
a camera of us, and like the last episode, as you would have seen, it freezes sometimes, and I don't know why it does that. And it's a little temperamental
that
thing.
said,
that
I
camera.
really am all for us having to do more dance compilations. So, camera, talking to you, camera, not the audience, camera. If you want to screw up, let us know, and we'll do another dance number.
Bust some beats out,
Yeah,
guys.
I'll
It's
shake
gonna
that
be
ass.
epic. Show me what you're working with. Anyway, we're going to go for a quicker one today, so let's get
Yes.
right into the episodes.
Yep.
Starting with, am I the asshole here for reporting my son's father to the judge?
Oh, great. Some little gender war issue here between father and mother, I assume.
Maybe.
Yeah.
The
Ooh.
son's father.
Little-
So, the father of her child.
Yeah.
So we'll see what's happened.
Yeah.
My son's father and I broke up when I was pregnant, and we had to go to court to work out custody. For the last 14 years, there have been a few problems. Recently, though, something terrible happened. My son's father is married now and has other children, and one of them died recently.
Oh. Okay.
My son was with me when it happened, and his father didn't tell us what happened. His paternal grandparents had to be the ones to reach out. They also picked up my son to take him to the funeral. After the funeral, my son and his dad got into a physical altercation. I asked for an emergency custody hearing. My ex didn't show up, and the judge gave me temporary emergency custody and suspended all custody and visitation rights for his dad. His family says that I'm a monster taking advantage of the situation, and even my own friends and family say that they're taken aback by what I did. My perspective is that no matter what he was going through, if he gets physical with our child, he's not safe to be around him. Was I an asshole for what I did?
This is sounding far less grey than I thought it would be, to be honest. I was expecting some sort of thing where, like, you had a dispute and an argument, and I didn't like the way that he wasn't feeding my son as well as he should be, so I'm reporting him to a judge. No, this is...
He's throwing hands with a 14-year-old.
Yeah. I would like to know more details about this altercation, because usually altercation, literally defending yourself, can be considered an altercation.
They said physical altercation.
That's what I mean. Was it if the son was the one instigating this physical altercation? If it was just the father just grabbing him and saying, like, telling him to stop. If they're having an argument and he's like grabs his hands to stop him from storming away or something like that.
Oh, like, here we go. Info. Would you elaborate on what the physical altercation was?
Yeah.
Either way, if the judge so decided, it must be quite significant. Not
mean-
the asshole for putting your son's safety first, even if it's above his father's feelings.
Yeah, that is valid. Yeah. Okay, what's the physical altercation?
OP replies, his dad punched him.
Oh, oh Jesus. Hey. The jury's still out,
Yeah, who knows what happened there?
Who knows what caused the father to punch him?
Someone says, did your kid start it? And OP says, he yelled at his father.
Oh my God. Oh no.
And said...
It's even worse.
And said that he was a shitty dad. I already answered this question multiple times.
I mean, sorry. Here's some facts that facts don't care about your feelings, Dad.
What is going on with these comments?
This is crazy.
And it says, at the funeral of his other kid? So yes, your kid started it. The victim blaming here. What the hell?
Okay, look, that is valid if the son was also an adult, not a 14-year-old hormonal teenage kid who clearly has developed some, I guess, what's the word?
Resentment to the fact that the dad didn't say that someone that he's obviously grown up with, his brother or sister.
Well, so that's one thing I want to know.
The husband moved on, like they broke up.
Yeah, but was the child ever...
Yeah, they had shared custody.
Oh, they had shared... Oh, right.
That's why they're doing a custody agreement. So obviously this is one of his siblings.
Oh my God.
His half-sibling.
Oh, I didn't even fathom that part.
His half-sibling has died, and the dad has just refused to tell him until the funeral. If the father had it his way, the son would not have even known that his half sibling had died and he wouldn't have been
Yeah.
able to attend the funeral. I think
Yeah.
I'd be pretty pissed off
Yeah.
if I was the son.
Oh yeah, like
Like-
I want to be clear here. I like the fact that it was an adult man punching their own teenage son. Yeah, I mean, no defense is
Not at
valid.
all, no.
None. This is hilariously stupid that there needs to be a thought of, are you the a-hole for doing this? I can't believe that OP's own family is like, I can't believe
What's
you-
going on here?
Yeah, you're not letting the man who beat your son be around your son anymore?
He laid hands on your son for having an opinion?
Yeah.
And you're taking custody away?
Your son expressed a clear resentment for their own father for very valid reasons, and your father, understandably in a bit of emotional turmoil over the fact that one of their children is dead, decided to behave very...
Eradicate the son.
laser beam. But like, yeah, I like, okay, yeah, grieving father, sure, but the end of the day, you have no excuse to lay physical harm onto another person, no matter how emotionally distraught you are by what they've said to you. Like, you can not excuse it. You can explain it that, yeah, hey, this is why I did it. But again, this is not a fellow adult who said this to you in some condescending tone to make you feel even worse about your son dying. This is your teenage son clearly expressing this from a zone of, I feel like you weren't there for me as a father. Like, how could you not perceive that from...
But this is the situation that, like, it happened here, is what OP
Okay.
says. My 14-year-old yelled at his father and called him a shitty dad, and then his dad punched him in the face. Not as hard as he could probably have, but hard enough to leave a mark.
Oh, God.
So your ex has trouble hearing harsh truths. I'm glad you're protecting your child.
Yeah.
And the other thing they said is he was very angry that his dad didn't tell him his brother died. He called his father a shitty dad. And then the kid got punched in the face for that.
Oh, my God.
I don't know what... I mean, thank you for bringing this story to Reddit, but like, it's pretty open and shut, right? That he punched his 14-year-old son in the face for saying that he's a shitty dad for not telling him that his half sibling was dead.
That
and
really-
wasn't going to invite him to the funeral.
Yeah, that really says a lot about the environment of the father's family here. And even the mother, OP's own family, where they would hear this and think, but why isn't he allowed to be around his son anymore?
Yeah, but like, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, that was normal. I mean, he's sad. So he's allowed to physically harm other people. Like, do you
makes
understand how
sense.
stupid that is of a logic? I don't, like, this... I know this is something that's probably some people will jump on as like some sort of like, this is an example of women take advantage of men and like the judges in a courtroom over
They're
children
biased towards
disputes.
the women.
Yeah. It's like,
yeah.
this is very valid though. If a mother did this to a fellow adult in general, it doesn't matter your gender in this situation. Someone physically assaulted a child. You don't. There's no
You
excuse
can't logic
for
and
that.
facts and logic your way out of that one.
Yeah.
It's just not happening.
Like, unless that child was becoming extremely erratic and causing physical harm and danger onto other people and the adult themselves, sure, some physical altercation is understandable, but it's very hard to justify.
Especially
Very
in this
hard.
instance.
Yeah.
Open and shut case, I say. For
Yeah,
that
I
one.
think so.
I think we
That's-
solved the crime, Jacko.
Well, good work, Sherlock.
Hello, let's
Yeah.
go.
Good work, my Holmesy. Okay.
By Holmesy.
Here we go. Am I the a-hole by appropriate fix 2214? Am I the a-hole for cheating at an eating competition?
Go the one behind it. I got
Oh.
that one for you.
Oh, okay.
I loaded up your story for you.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Sorry, I didn't realize that was the next one already.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
mistake.
I'm reading
Ignore-
that one.
yeah, okay, he wants
he
to read that
stole
one.
my story.
Oh, I guess I was cheating.
Eh.
Okay, this one's by Saturn Orchid Dragon. Am I the a-hole for yelling? Am I the a-hole for yelling my good morning when ignored the first time? Good morning. Good morning.
The neighbors, they loved that one.
Just let them know it's morning. Okay, so I live with my roommate and my roommate's girlfriend, who at this point could probably be considered a roommate as well. Oh, God, that dynamic.
Oh.
She
But
wasn't.
not on the lease. Like,
Yeah.
she's not
oh,
on the lease, so she doesn't have any responsibility, but she might as
Yeah.
well be. But
How convenient.
hey, I still have to pay half of the utilities,
Yeah.
not 1/3 like I should be. But
Okay, she wasn't on the agreement originally, but does pay and has been living here for a year now. Okay, so she pays her part. That's
my point still stands.
statement
Like,
retracted personally.
I'm not taking back what I said.
Admittedly, things haven't been going the greatest lately, and I am currently saving up to move out. Lately, they've been in the habit of just randomly ignoring me when I'm talking to them. It started with them ignoring simple questions of, "Where are you guys going?" which I get can sound interrogatory, mostly wondering in case something happens, but sometimes minor greetings too. This morning was an example of that. I told my roommate's girlfriend, "Good morning," and she just refused to even look up and continue what she was doing. I figured she was just too tired to talk, but when my roommate came down, she started asking her full questions. This might be where I'm the a-hole. I said much louder, "Good morning, girlfriend," and finally got a response. In the car later, my roommate told me that was a really bitchy thing to do. I responded, "So was ignoring my good morning," to which she responded, "We don't owe you that." So, am I the a-hole? And if so, should I care that I am?
I'm really keen to see what the comments have to say, like of the YouTube video when this comes, because I know there's a lot of petty people who be like, "Hey, maybe they should be saying good morning to me. Like, we wouldn't have a problem, huh?" 'Cause I think it's incredibly passive aggressive.
This is the thing, it's like, all you have to say is morning. All you have to do is respond and acknowledge them. They're not asking you to be like, it's not like they're asking you to be like, "Oh, you said good morning. Good morning. How are you? Tell me about yourself. Did you have a good night's sleep? Did you have a good dream?
What
Tell
did
me
you
about your
dream
dream."
of?
Yeah, like they're
Was
not
I
they're
in
not
the
requesting that.
dreams?
They're just requesting you to like be like, "Hey, morning."
That's it. Yeah, basic respect.
That's all you have
she
to do.
can pay half the bills. She can say good morning to me. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, comments. Biggest comment,
I think
2.9.
open and shows. Everyone sucks here. We don't have to go to the.
No. This person says, "Why are you trying to force interactions with people who don't want to talk to you?" And someone responds, "Because it really sucks to be ignored like you don't exist in the place you live." And more people, "You're the a-hole. Where are you guys going?" Which I can get sound interrogatory, mostly wondering.
We
Well,
saying
who
that
cares
right?
about your wonder? Mind your own business. It's not hard. The raising your voice to someone that clearly doesn't want to engage with you is cringy as hell. I mean,
Okay.
it's also cringy to act like someone who wants to, what's the word? It's a subtle form of emotional abuse where you are giving a cold shoulder to someone to refuse to give them, which you're not even
Stonewall.
giving. It's
Stonewall.
yeah, it's like the emotional validation, like the very basic, bare minimum validation towards someone's existence as a fellow human being that deserves recognition and respect. You want to refuse to let them have that.
So us new age hip kind of folk on the Reddit side, we call it grey rocking and stonewalling.
Yeah,
Those are the new age terms we use for that kind of emotional distance that you give someone. Intentional emotional distance.
Yeah, it's a form of emotional abuse that people don't really like to acknowledge as emotional abuse because it requires very little effort to sneakily do, which then makes people think, well, it's not abusive because it's not like I'm doing anything. I'm just ignoring them and not giving them any validation of their existence when they try to engage with me as a social person. And it's
get
like
that.
you're being an a-hole. That is an a-hole thing to do. How, like, I don't care about how, like, oh, it's exhausting having to like constantly talk to them. You don't have to talk to them in like, unless that if they are constantly prying you to have a conversation, that's one thing. It's another thing when they are literally just saying good morning and you don't even want to give them the respect of acknowledging them back. That's totally different.
I feel that. I mean,
That's my thoughts on it.
I
at
think
least,
OP is giving us a very narrow view of the situation as well, being like, this is the one time she ignored me. And
Yeah, here's the thing.
don't know if this is a repeated offense by OP.
That's very valid because
How
like
much passive aggression has been slowly building up to this point?
yeah, I would agree to that. That I feel like maybe there's been a lot of other issues socially in this household where OP has sort of brought this upon themselves.
I think so too.
Yeah,
and I think if your vibe with your roommates is they don't really vibe with you like that, just give them that energy back in kind. Don't try to change the dynamic.
See, I don't know about that so much because I feel like that just like the whole reason OP has clearly made this an issue because they don't want that. They don't want that environment in their household that they live in. They
The
want
thing is,
a
they just-
social household.
I think OP wants a social household.
Yeah.
If these roommates don't want to be in a social household with you, you just got to move and find new roommates at that point.
Yeah, I think it's like you.
It's like, don't try to be friends with people that don't want to be your friends.
Yeah. This is one of those things where it's like, you know, it's not so much that that these people are obliged to. It's just again basic respect. And okay, clearly you guys aren't as gelling well together as much as you should be. But instead of you being that sort of couple in a relationship where one person gives the cold shoulder because they don't really like the person anymore, you just break up. Stop with this whole like, you know, emotional distancing from each other because you actually secretly despise each other, like what's happening here with these housemates. Just make the effort to move out and like just accept that it's done and just end things.
There will be caveats to that, which I know people in the comments here are going to say, I shouldn't be forced to move out. I usually like the place that I move out, that I live in. Why should I be the one forced to move, especially if it's cheaper? You know, I've got myself a good deal in this house.
That's a valid point. Yeah.
I'm not leaving. They can be the ones to leave if they can make a better environment. The girlfriend is the one that's not on the lease here. They're breaking the contractual terms. I'm reporting them to the landlord. I don't care if they don't like me. I'm not going to be friends with them after this. I'm going to kick them out of the house and find someone I like.
I mean, you can if you want to be really petty about it.
But I imagine people in the comments are going to say this. You know, I've read the YouTube comments enough that I'm like, I know general vibes of like how this is going to be received.
Yeah.
But you know, often I'm wrong as well. I don't claim to be particularly right.
Hey, look, it'll be interesting. I'm curious what people say in this. There is an AITA, though, that's got 5 downvotes. That they are freezing you out. That's cruel. You are being bullied through shunning. Start looking for a house or apartment that needs roommates. The more people, the cheaper the price. Start asking friends to look for you, etc. Basically...
But why is that downvoted? I like that.
Yeah, because they are, though. It's that thing where it's like, again, it's the type of bullying that a lot of like, it's like high school girl bullying, where it's like, I'm not bullying you. I'm just isolating you from the friend group now, and I'm using all your friends to sort of turn against you.
And laughing at you behind your back.
Yeah, and I'm giving comments that are actually, you know, insulting you rather than, but I'm disguising them under a compliment. It's not abusive because it's not acknowledged as abusive.
It feels great from my end, but
Yeah.
I can't imagine how you're receiving that.
Yeah, like you're feeling bad from the things I'm saying. Well, that sounds like a you problem. And I'm allowed to say these things without any consequences or, you know, punishment for my actions influencing everyone around me to feel worse about themselves.
Sorry if we brought you guys back into high school. It was really rude of us to do that to you.
Look, this is the thing, because I've been on the side of the couple in this situation, albeit unintentionally. Someone I dated a while ago really despised the man that her mother had started dating. And it influenced me enough to also mutually start icing that person as well in a very subconscious way to myself. I just started becoming subconsciously irritated by him for reasons that when I reflect on afterwards, I'm like, is that irritating though? That he was literally just trying to have a conversation with me? That he was just like trying to just chat with me and be like, oh yeah, how you doing? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, it was fascinating how, I mean...
Well, that's the thing. If she sees you having a good time with him, she's not going to like that.
No, yeah, she didn't.
She's gonna
She
bring that up
didn't.
later.
She definitely had
What
that
are you
subtle...
thinking talking to him like that for? Why?
She definitely
He's
expressed
weird.
a subconscious little irritation towards me accepting him in the household. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what sort of developed here. It seems like the way OP's worded this, it seems like OP's a woman as well.
Yeah, 3-woman household.
Yeah. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if either the partner here or the housemate had all this time actually been annoyed by OP and has influenced the other person to join in the charade of making OP no longer feel welcome in this household. Again, it is literally just abusive tactics. It's emotional abuse. You're trying to create an environment where OP doesn't feel welcomed or appreciated or respected. Like, what is that except bullying? You're being a bully. You're being, in the adult world, that is considered harassment. Well, not harassment, but like it's considered abusive. And it's just, I don't know. It really frustrates me how this sort of behavior isn't taken as seriously as it should be because of the implications it has, especially in a day and age where we are so much more on top of mental health and acknowledging people's feelings a lot more, and the fact that we've literally gone to the point where now therapy speak is actually considered a bit too much.
Yeah,
Like,
it's got a blunt
and
edge
yet
to
we're
it.
and yet we're still behaving around this sort of stuff as if it's like, like I said, we're still back in the 1950s where we still think that women should belong in the kitchen. Like, it seems very behind the times that we aren't treating this sort of stuff as like, this is bad and should be nipped immediately. Anyway, that's my little tangent about it.
Hey, I get you.
Yeah,
I understand where you're coming from.
I
with
look,
that.
I know everyone says a-hole in that post, but I'm honestly, I don't feel there's enough evidence there for me to feel like they are an a-hole. They haven't. Again, it's the OP's perspective, so feel free to add in what you want.
Because
But
you're like, I have been on the other side of that, so I understand what it's like from the couple's perspective.
yeah, like
I
I've
can
literally
see
been
why
the
that
person
person
who's
would
been
be-
the a-hole to someone in a household and made them feel isolated and alienated. And yeah, I think that OP is not the a-hole in this circumstance.
Yeah, but if the mum's partner had done that to you two, and then you guys left the house and your girlfriend blew up in the car,
yeah.
would you feel like he's an asshole for that?
Wait, oh, sorry, hang on.
Say this exact situation happened to you.
Yeah.
And then he said like the good morning to you guys, and then
Yeah.
you two left the house, got in the car, and drove off to do whatever it is you're doing. And in the car, she's losing her
Right.
mind, being like, "Can you believe that asshole?"
So deep down, I know that he was in the right to respond like that because we have been icing him out. We have been disrespecting him. Like, it's
I just don't know how you navigate that. To me, as a fly on the wall in that conversation, that's so awkward.
oh yeah, no, absolutely would be awkward. I would absolutely go into the fawn mode of like trying to keep the peace of some regard, of like trying to navigate of like, hey, look, you're valid to feel annoyed by them and frustrated by them. That's totally understandable. Like us living in those circumstances, I would do my best to try to gently point out the fact that she is being an asshole and just
That's
like,
gonna go well.
yeah, in the most constructive way. But like, for the sake of simplicity, just be like, yeah, you're being an asshole to this guy. Of course, he's going to respond like that. If you're going to be mean to someone, they're naturally going to become a bit more hostile in return. Color yourself shocked that the way you treat someone is usually how they're going to treat you back once they have more of a spine.
No,
Yeah,
I respect that. That is a good way to look at it.
yeah.
I
thoughts.
think no assholes here.
Mm.
Everyone has their own perspective, guys. Can we all just sit on the fence for a second?
Come join the fence. It's been
Quite comfy.
Yeah, it's been structured. It's got some seats on it now.
Yeah, we put some
it's got good
cushioning
foundations.
and all that. Oh,
Yeah.
come on, guys.
We
Join
poured cement
us.
on its base so it won't tip over. So you can comfortably sit on the fence without any repercussions.
Yeah, the fence does not discriminate.
No, it
Hell
doesn't.
yeah. Next one by a user Appropriate Fix. And it's titled, Am I the Asshole for Cheating at an Eating Competition? So, our local restaurant that has really good wings was hosting a hot pepper eating competition recently, with a bunch of coupons for free wings on the line. I have a weird genetic quirk where my body doesn't register capsaicin normally, so my spice tolerance levels are way higher than normal. So I entered the competition and won the coupons, but my friends are now saying that I cheated and that I should have let normal people compete and get the wings.
Normies.
Yeah, these normies, what, who do they think they are? Not cheating? So Reddit, am I the asshole for competing? The wings are so good though. It says, okay, edit. Thanks, guys. I guess the consensus is that chicken wing gods blessed me and my friends are just jelly. I now have to embark on the holy pilgrimage to all hot pepper contests in the nation to conquer them all. Wish me luck. And since many people asked, no, it doesn't hurt throughout the whole body, nor on the way out. Okay, they're absolutely blessed.
Yeah.
Just no capsaicin anywhere. It just doesn't, even on the way out. For me, when I have anything spicy, that's the worst. Like on the way out is
I've
like
never felt any horrible experience on the way out when it comes to spicy food. Always just on the way in.
no, it's the worst one on the way out. The
Oh.
receptors are way too tuned up. That it's 10 times worse. That's why I avoid spicy foods because it's not worth the next day.
I will be honest, this is the first time I've heard of the fact that it can actually be a bad experience on the way out when it comes to spicy food. I always thought it was
is.
only a experience going in.
No, it's,
That
for me, it's
makes
10
sense
times
now,
worse.
considering we technically have taste buds down there.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, in case you didn't know, we have taste buds down there.
We do, yeah. Just dip it one time, see if you taste. Taste the rainbow.
I think look. I'm really brain farting here, which is fitting for this situation. But I think it's something that like our brain. The only reason we actually can't, taste it like we taste with our tongue is because it's for the brain to be aware of something. I don't know, something like that. Some sort
Well,
of
it's like,
checking system.
is it okay for me to eat this or is it not okay for me to eat this? A lot
Yeah.
of the times it comes down to that as well.
Yeah, like how your body sort of gets rid of it, and the body can sort of something. It's something like that. Like they're not taste buds in the same sense that our taste buds are on our tongue. Something like I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'm
He's
actually
gonna
gonna
Google. He's
yeah,
gonna get
I'm
his
actually
sources.
gonna verify this instead of just
So
assuming.
while he's doing that, I'll read some comments out.
Yeah.
Me running against Usain Bolt. You are genetically gifted. You're a cheater. Me playing basketball against some 2 meter 20 giant. Stop cheating. Your friend's an idiot, not the asshole. If you pulled a Homer Simpson and coated your throat with candle wax, that equals cheating. But what you did equals not cheating. They don't call Michael Phelps a cheater for being genetically gifted at swimming. That's just the nature of competitions sometimes. At the highest level, I think it's all the time. Everyone at that tier is working their ass off. You don't get to be the best of the best without also having a genetic advantage. Yeah, I don't think that OP did cheat. Little weaklings who can't handle ghost pepper. On the bright side, nobody ever tries to steal my lunch. Yeah, I think it is incredible genetic gifting here that they don't feel it at all throughout the process. That is not fair because I am one of the most sensitive people that I have ever met when it comes to anything.
And we'll just cut that bit there. Just the most sensitive people you've ever met. That right
and
there.
next story.
Yeah. So you don't have taste buds, but you do have chemical receptors, which are a similar thing to what taste buds are. You have chemical receptors in your colon. They detect things like nutrients and bacterial metabolites, initiating signals that regulate gut motility, hormone release, and immune responses to maintain homeostasis and influence nutrient absorption. Basically, checking if your body is like actually absorbing nutrients properly, if things are being left out, and that makes sense.
Then it'll put it back in on the next round.
Yeah,
Let's
essentially,
go.
to be like, hey, I noticed that a lot of the iron's going out here. We seem to be lacking iron. Let's make that known to the brain, sort of thing.
And in that case, for most people, the brain's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah,
and then heaps of people have to go to the hospital for an iron infusion into their arm. And then that's like one of those situations where the body's like, and doesn't fix it.
This is the thing. I remember talking to some coworkers the other day about this, of like how so many women have iron deficiency. Obviously, because they have periods, and so they lose a lot of blood, which obviously is a lot of iron as a result. But like, I feel like that's one of those things that
Why put it back if you're just going to lose it again? Come on.
that needs to be the next sort of medical marvel of our age, where we finally figure out a way to help women with
Not
iron.
have periods anymore.
I mean, look, that's birth control. That's what usually for most women is birth control. But I mean, that's considering birth control is also like grabbing a sledgehammer and smashing someone's hormones. Like it works, but it works in the same way. Yeah, use a sledgehammer to try and put a nail into a wall. Like it's pretty destructive for some people's bodies.
Hell yeah.
And can really mess them up. So that's why people usually have such huge side effects to them. But yeah, I don't know. I just like, you'd think that's something that we should be able to fix at some point. How people just lose so much iron so easily to the point it's like
when it comes to
epidemic?
women in
Pandemic?
health studies, they've been left out of the studies a
No,
lot.
there's a
throughout
huge
history.
there's
more
a
recent-
huge amount of women's health
recently
studies.
now.
I think it's one of the things where it's just going to take time.
It's
at
just
this point.
historically they've not
Yeah.
been
Yeah,
treated. So
it's
yes,
like the
these days
whole-
there's heaps.
Yeah. What do you
But
call it?
I feel like that's catching up to the historical norms.
The women's education levels and stuff. Like back in the 80s, it was like, well, men's was like up here, but now we're actually at a point where they've literally reversed.
Yep.
Not because we've been ignoring men, but because women have gotten so much support over the last few years. Not that it's a bad thing, that they've just gotten a lot of support over the last few decades or so, that like now they not only have we realized, oh, turns out women actually excel in school environments more than men naturally do, but also, yeah, because we've helped change that dynamic that women are only ever meant to be stay-at-home wives, blah, 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 that women, turns out the human beings that have brains and are capable of critical thinking skills, just like males, actually turn out to be just as capable as males.
Hell yeah.
Wow! Shocking news! A brain is a brain!
But I'm curious to know if anyone can fact check me on the women's health studies thing, because my mom is convinced that women until like the 90s or 2000s were just not included in most health studies. And a lot of the
Oh,
old historical data is purely just men, and they would
yes.
intentionally leave women out of it.
Here's I did learn about this actually. So the reason that a lot of women weren't included in all these old studies and stuff back in the day wasn't because they didn't care to have women in them. Is because these studies were done so unsafely or not responsibly that they didn't deem women worth risking. They considered the reason men were let more in these studies is because men were considered less valuable and more of a cannon fodder of like, let's just throw drugs at people and see what happens. Oh, some guy died. Well, it's just a man.
It's just a guy, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Screw
like,
him, right?
obviously that doesn't mean there wasn't a patriarchy back then. Obviously there was, and women weren't like, it's this whole double-edged sort of like, oh, we got to take care of these. We can't let these women be at risk of being in drug studies. They might get harmed. But at the same time, we don't respect women as human beings capable of independence because we think they're so frail and pathetic and useless. Like there's that thing of like, oh,
double-edged sword there, guys.
yeah. You kind of like you care about them so much, but you also think they are incapable of being independent, capable human beings. It's
They get the best of the worst of both worlds.
It's so like it's a bit of a mixed balance of like both they were sexist assholes back then, but also they didn't want to risk the people capable of continuing the human race to be at risk of these side effects and stuff they might find with drugs.
Well, that's why I pinpoint there. Facts and citations, fact-checking
Yes.
citations
Which
necessary.
is-
Let me know.
Yeah, which is especially ironic because, you then have these drugs working for the standard male body, but then what about the woman's body, which fluctuates in a lot more hormonal balance, unlike men do, which is also, again, a reason why they usually avoided women for some studies, even up until the recent last decade or so, was because women are just harder to navigate around of like, okay, well, your cycle can affect this specific drug we're testing in and that kind of stuff. Again, it's not so much these days, it's not so much sexist as it is like, just the male, it's cheaper and easier to study it through men because men have just more of a baseline constantly than it is women. It's still sexist in a way, just more in a capitalist way,
Hell
where
yeah.
it's cheaper and easier to navigate these studies and for the companies to get the results they want because they just have the basic standard male as a baseline of like, yep, he's easy. And oh yeah, wait. Well,
Women exist as well.
Women exist
That's
as well,
another
and
market we have to get
there's all
into.
these side effects we end up discovering through when women take these drugs as well. Oh, right. Oh well, we
That's
already
just
got the
harder.
approval
That's
from the
just
FDA.
Yeah.
We don't have to care anymore. It's
Good
like,
luck, women. No.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's one of those things where like they say that we fixed a lot of things now. Like we fixed a lot of things, but there's still a lot of issues in like You've cleaned all the shit off the floor, but there's still a bunch of turds around the floor that you haven't.
It's good enough.
Yeah,
good enough.
I've cleaned all the big poo off the
I'll
floor.
just wipe it
but
off
there's
my
still
shoe if
poo
I-
on the floor.
If I step on it, I'll just wipe it off. Don't worry.
Yeah. Anyway.
Let's keep going, shall
Okay,
we?
sorry. It always because you get some guys going this sort of like, oh, women get so much nowadays. Like, yeah, because they need it. Anyway, okay.
Our advocate Jack in the building. Thank you.
Performative man, where's my
Salute.
matcha? Where's my fucking matcha?
I'm gonna strap a labubu to him next time, guys.
I've got a tote bag off camera as we speak, full of at least 3 vinyl records. Don't know what the songs are.
I'm
Okay.
gonna read one of those books, Why Men Deserve Less.
Okay. Beanie Baby is the writer of this one. Am I the a-hole for refusing to move my roommate's dishes and hiding the dish soap? Oh, as long as it's not on the floor. Yesterday night, I apparently committed the cardinal sin of wanting to wash my dishes. How dare you?
Asshole.
Yeah. I washed a bowl I had used for Fruit Loops and a plate I had used for dinner. The plate was fairly greasy since I had mac and cheese and oxtail for dinner. That's an
It's a
interesting combo.
weird combo.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm with you. What's wrong with you, OP? Cardinal sin right there.
And there was still milk left in the cereal bowl when I washed it. As I approached the sink, I noticed that my roommate had left a dinner bowl, a cup, and a fork in the sink. I didn't touch any of those items and washed my own. I didn't notice at the time, but apparently me washing my stuff left a greasy film and discolored water sitting in my roommate's stuff, which she would come to find out this morning. She
Oh,
confronted
no.
she confronted me about it.
Wow.
No less than an hour ago, and said that next time if I wanted to wash something and her dishes were in the sink, the proper thing to do would be to move them. used an incredibly condescending tone, by the way, as if she was speaking to a child. Okay, so she should have been like, hey, so next time, make sure you.
Good morning.
Sorry, good morning. Next time you want to clean some dishes, okay? You want to make sure you move my stuff that I left in the way. You want to move that out of the way, okay? Do you know what moving is?
I just shitted my pants.
Oh, well, you make sure you clean all of it up, okay? And not only 80% of it and say that you're done now. Because
No.
that 20% left over can grow up to become another 80%, okay? If we don't keep it in
No.
check.
You clean it. You clean it.
I'm
clean it.
you're typical leaving up to me to clean up your shit.
This is your mess to clean.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Because apparently I'm the only one who has to deal with it, even though you're the one literally also in the shit.
You never say good morning to me, so why should I? You're the problem with society.
That's subtle symbolism right there. Okay. I told her I have no intention or desire to touch her stuff and that I wouldn't be doing that. For context, we had talked about leaving dishes in the sink, among other things, about a week ago, and I did relay my feelings on that to her. I don't care as long as it doesn't stink and it doesn't block what I need to do. I don't know how one takes that to mean that I'm obligated to touch someone else's dirty dishes and move them before cleaning my own as well. I don't care what happens to your dishes, and if you leave them in the sink, you must not either. We drop the issue after some back and forth, and she goes to wash her stuff in the sink. I keep a large bottle of Dawn by the sink. It is the only dish soap brand I use. All right, no time for your sponsorships, okay? Which I also mentioned during our conversation. I remember jokingly stating that it's kind of a pain in the butt because it's more expensive than other dish soaps out there. We agreed to alternate purchasing it when it runs out, but I had bought this particular one. So what does she do? She loads the sponge with soap. I'm talking, I watch her put a full layer of Dawn onto the surface of the sponge before running it in water. So most of it goes down the drain anyway. I asked if she uses that much every time, and she just shrugged and said that she used so much to combat the grease and muck left on her stuff. I didn't comment after that, but after she's finished, I took the bottle to my room.
She's like Ajax liberating Greece.
The agreement we had could suck it. She hasn't noticed yet, but there's bound to be a blowout when she does. Am I the a-hole here? Is there some sort of unspoken dishwashing rule that says you should move someone else's stuff before washing your own dishes? Should I have left the dish soap by the sink? Edit, if you're thinking of commenting to say I should have washed her dishes because they were in the sink, save your breath. You genuinely have an easier time convincing a shark to become vegan.
This guy's ready for a fight.
Yeah, Beanie
He's
Baby's
just like,
ready to.
You're gonna
give
point out
these
the
beans.
obvious. I'm
Yeah.
gonna break your jaw. Yeah. You want me to wash their dishes? How about I break your jaw instead? How does that sound? Huh? Say it
Okay.
again.
All right, your thoughts are: if your housemate left some dishes out there to be washed, would you wash them?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Why would I?
Yeah.
Fuck them.
I'm assuming if your housemates, you're both adults, so
Yeah.
live an adult life. Learn to clean up after yourself.
No, like we said at Macca's, you got time to lean, you got time to clean. That's how it is. I understand they're like lazy and whatnot, and they're gonna leave it in there. But if you leave it in the line of fire, don't be sad when you get shot. All right? You put your dishes in there, it's gonna get some spray. Like I'm not gonna take the extra mental effort. If you couldn't do the mental effort yourself of cleaning it as soon as it gets into the sink and just leaving it there, I'm not gonna do the mental effort of putting it out, washing mine, wiping everything down, putting yours back in, leaving it as it was. No,
Yeah.
that's too many steps. I'm doing you did the path of least resistance. I'm doing the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
Don't be upset when you get wet.
Yeah. So top comment, sigh. Can we step back and ask the question, what is actually better? To rigidly enforce the your dish is your problem rule and hide soap, have this conversation and all of this, or just wash what's in the sink when you have a moment? I don't know. I don't get y'all. Nothing in the world would let me wash some of the dishes and just leave them there. I'd rather note this as a reason we won't be renewing the lease rather than have all of this. Everyone sucks here. If you agree to alternate soap purchase, I find that concept ridiculous, then you can't then hide the soap because you think she uses too much soap or washes dishes wrong. I see no value in whatever is your goal here. To which a lot of comments reply
I
to this.
agree with that. What are you doing alternating the dish soap? Get your own dish soap so
What-
she can't piss you off by wasting it.
So the thing is, a lot of people are ignoring that part and they're focusing on the fact of like, just wash whatever is in the sink. People are being like, I ain't your mama, do your own dishes. And
See, I'm a petty asshole. I don't go with that. I'm going to be a petty asshole when it comes to that. Don't act all holier than thou. A lot of people will say they're going to do something, and in actuality, they never would.
Yeah.
They just want to do it because they don't want to sound like a bad person.
yeah, I like, again, if it's one thing, if you're a family, or if it's your partner, you know, that sort of subtle,
Yeah, partner's
subtle
different.
love language of sorts, like, hey, yeah, I'll help clean up your stuff for you, like that sort of thing. You do it back and forth. I do agree though that I feel like the whole, what's the word, exiling the soap, is a bit dramatic when you
Yeah, that's
admit
stupid.
that you buy it, you alternate it together anyway. So she's going to be buying the next round, I assume. And this isn't a case of you learning that this is how she always uses the soap. She's doing it in petty response to you leaving some grease on her stuff. If she did it a second time, or you notice her keep doing it, she's keep using too much of the soap, you're like, okay, hold up. I'm just going to buy my own dish soap. You can buy your own as well. You're using too much of it when, like, because, you know, actually, no, pause that. If she doesn't want to buy her share of it, like, if it's her turn to buy it and she doesn't want to anymore, yeah, that's when you're like, okay, well, you're disrespecting this rule that we had let out, because you're the one now that's actually disrespected the rule first, not her.
Well, we're just working with assumptions here. From
Yeah,
the
true.
get-go. They haven't given us enough information. Look, we haven't gone to the funeral or been punched in the face yet. Let's not jump to conclusions. All right?
It's fascinating. A lot of people saying everyone sucks here. I guess
I agree with everyone sucks here.
yeah,
Personally.
it is valid with the whole taking away the dish soap. I feel that's where it becomes everyone sucks here. Otherwise, I feel not the a-hole. Yeah, this
But the
comment
thing
right
is,
here.
Am I an asshole for not washing your dishes?
No, I don't think so.
That's the thing. Like, in a sense, I think it's not the asshole. The only asshole move from OP is hiding the dish soap.
Yeah,
What's
this
wrong
comment
with
literally
you?
was that. You were not the a-hole until you hid the dish soap. If she doesn't want stuff on her dishes, don't leave them in the sink. So obvious. But then you taking away the dish soap, that's just
You
you.
expect to get yelled at if you pull some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you're going to have animosity in the house.
Yeah, you tell someone that they are a terrible dad at their own son's funeral, you're going to get smacked in the face.
Just get
No
punched
excuses.
out of nowhere.
They don't deserve any consequences for that, no matter the age of the person they punched in the face.
And you can't
Yep.
come up and be like, I was going to have some devious comments coming through, but maybe it's too much of a deep cut. You know, I'm referencing a story from like 10 episodes ago. But
Man.
let's move on from this one.
Yeah,
I'm
this
getting heated.
one's so
I'm
ridiculous.
getting angry at this story. I'm not going to lie. Okie dokie, guys. This one's by a deleted account, so you know that they stand on their opinions. They're not shy to have an internet argument. You know, they post a story, they might get flamed a little bit, and they disappear.
Yeah, they happily accept
They're
the
none the
comments.
wiser.
Yeah.
So, am I the asshole for planning international travel without my children?
Okay.
So, here's the reality. I have 2 kids. They are now 14 and 16. I've had...
I was getting ready for they're like grown adults maybe, but nope, they're
they're
still under
14
your
and
care.
I've had 50-50 custody since I got divorced up until
Okay.
a few months ago. So maybe it's changed.
Yeah, right.
4 years ago, my ex-wife got remarried and her husband advised her to start a custody dispute.
To have the kids fully?
So now that we're married, you should start a custody dispute with the kids. Don't know. We'll see what the full story is. That's
okay.
an insane sentence.
Yeah.
Question to the audience.
Now that we're married, you should completely upheave your current accepted dynamic between your entire family.
Yes.
Because I want this.
Have you experienced that before?
Yeah.
You're personally or family? Have you had a marriage happen and they're like, now that we're married, let's take your ex to court over the kids?
This
That's
dynamic
crazy.
that's clearly been working for their entire lives.
Or not working in that some cases, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, look, Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe it's been a case where it's only been like this because the court mandated it, and it actually hasn't been working. Yeah, well, we'll find out. Let's see.
Sorry
Yeah.
for the detergent. You know,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
sorry, the
Let's do the very basic,
detour.
obvious thing of just
Fuck.
hearing
That
out more of the
story's
story.
on my mind. I was going to say sorry for the detour. I said sorry for the detergent. But it is.
Sorry to steal the soap.
Well, sorry, I just bend over to pick it up. You know? So, I spent $165,000, basically my life savings, fighting for 4 years. For the record, my ex-wife's father is wealthy and he paid all of her legal fees. This comes
Okay.
into play. The older child told the court-appointed therapist, I want to live with my mum and only see my dad every other weekend. The younger one just said that they wanted to do 50-50. The younger one then changed their mind and said, oh, maybe 70-30 with mum. I just want the court stuff to be over. I went to trial. My attorney fought like hell, but the judge said, given the children's ages, their preference will take precedence and we won't split them up, as it breaks their sibling bond.
God, I guarantee the mother used some sort of parental alienation.
There's
in
definitely,
this.
well, there's 70-30. If they were
Yeah.
happy with 50-50 and suddenly it's 70-30,
Yeah.
parental alienation, absolutely. I'm not even going to say I'm assuming. That
Yeah,
has to be the reality.
Yeah, there's no way.
She took you to court for 4 years.
Yeah.
Like,
4 years of time to help try and create a strong case and all that kind of yeah, that's
I'd like to know OP's true story, her story, and then I'd like to know the truth that's in the middle of it.
yeah.
Because both of them are going to have an extremely biased account of
What
the
kind of
hell
physical
happened.
altercation did this OP have with his own son?
Yeah, whose funeral did he cover up? Well, my wife and I have been planning some travel with some of her friends. Some of her friends, her sister, and their husbands. It included 9 days in Spain and France. They picked the dates, we got tickets. The kids found out about it and have been asking me, we want to go. Why can't... Come on, they're 14 and 16. It's been a long time of fighting. Let's not laugh at the kids. Come on, we're laughing with the kids, guys. We're laughing with the kids.
Oh.
I told my children, this is something we planned and we saved for. They asked if it was an adults-only trip, and I told them it was not, and their 15-year-old cousin was coming.
Hey kids, look at the consequences of
Hey,
your
guys.
actions by siding with your mother's alienation and
I mean,
preferring
165 grand down the drain.
Yeah.
How is he affording this holiday? And obviously he can't afford them to come as well. And you can't even say to the kids, hey, you got your mother to thank for that one, for sinking my life savings. How about you
Honestly-
ask her why you're not coming?
honestly a valid argument with the fact too that the kids have then admitted in the whole psychology
But
thing.
they'd rather be with her.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, oh, now you want to hang out with me? Now I'm going to go on some 9-day holiday trip.
Yeah,
what
I'd
a
be pissed
coincidence.
off.
How convenient of you to suddenly care about me being in your life.
Yeah, okay, daughter, you only want to come every other weekend because you hate me so much, but now
Yeah.
you want to be with me for 9 days in
Yeah,
another country?
yeah, nah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's like a bit enraging. I don't hate kids. I'm
This-
not anything
yeah.
wrong. They're young. They're easily
The
influenced.
naive, yeah.
But this shit, 10 to 20 years from now, having the conversation with them again,
Yeah.
I'd have some baggage to unload to be like, you know,
Absolutely.
now that you're old enough to comprehend,
Yeah.
you see how fucking annoying that was?
Like, not even annoying, but like heartbreaking.
you see what situation you put me in there?
Yeah, like not only have you made him, after these 4 years, feel like the unwanted parent in the entire dynamic that you've been clearly trying to fight for all this time. If you were willing to spend $165,000 over 4 years, you clearly weren't being a terrible dad and clearly cared about having your kids in your life.
Because a lot just would not fight that.
No.
They'd be like, whoa, lawyers' fees, goodbye.
Yeah. And then after all that battle and learning in the end that your kids prefer your mother to be with her more and it's basically visit you like some side parent, you know, on occasion. And then, you decide, all right, I need a break from all this. I'm going to go on this lavish holiday experience with fellow adult friends.
Hold up, let me come.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
Dad,
coming.
Dad, you know, after all these 4 years where I've admitted that I actually would prefer to be around my mum than you, I'd actually like to be around you all of a sudden now that you're conveniently going on this expensive, lavish trip.
That'd be nice.
Like, I'd feel absolutely used as nothing more than just a tool for someone to go on holiday.
And it's
That's
not like
absolutely what they're doing.
you can't even play dumb. You can't be like, well, I didn't know to tell you that I was. You can't even obfuscate the fact that you were going overseas because you have to tell your
Yeah.
ex so that she has custody. She's going to tell the kids, oh, you're going to be with me this week because dad's going overseas. There's no way of avoiding it and
Yeah.
like dancing around the issue either.
I guarantee those kids are a result if OP is like, you know what? No, I'm not taking you on these trips at all. Like, I don't want you to be there. I honestly, like, yeah, the kids will be hurt and betrayed and stuff. They're going to get to their early 20s and they're going to have that switch that goes,
Oh, God.
oh,
what did
I
do?
absolutely deserve to have been treated like that by my dad in that moment. That was very valid.
That was a bit. I was a bit greedy there.
Yeah, I was so disrespectful to the situation my dad was in and absolutely just being a naive, ignorant child. Like, it's one thing to excuse that behavior of like, yeah, look, yeah, these kids don't know any better. Sure, but doesn't dismiss dad's feelings here of his validity to be like, no, I'm not taking you on this trip that I literally can't afford to clearly in this moment anyway.
Well, that's the problem in the next sentence here.
Oh, okay, here we go.
It's not a huge revelation, but
Yep.
they said that it was not fair we couldn't take them as they know we could afford it,
Okay.
and that it would be their only chance to travel internationally. Cap.
Yeah, what?
Cap. That's
What do you mean? They're
that's
16
wrong.
and 14. They're
Shut
not
up.
bound to
it's
the...
our only chance. Shut up. I told them, you're young adults now. What? You chose to spend the majority of your time with your mother and you got what you wanted. But choices have consequences. One of them is that you don't get to join me on things like this. They both got very upset. My younger one said, you're just mad that we have more fun at mum's house. I'm afraid that I'm being the
No, honestly, yes.
Yes.
He is. He's hurt.
because I fought for you guys. And
Yeah.
yes, of
I
course I'm
fought
mad.
for you guys to be a part of my life, and you clearly don't want to be as much as I do. Why would I want to why would you think you deserve that from me beyond, like, I will give you 30% of my time as a dad then, if you only want 30% of me in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, it's one thing 50-50. I guess 50-50 you can say, like, okay, I want 100% both of you. But yeah, 30%. So, like, what, like, maybe 50-60% of my time is going to be with you then, in terms of like my part in as
how
being
many
a father.
days a week is 70-30? It's not even it's not even every second week. It's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday every second week.
Yeah.
Like that's the time that you'd have. You'd have a half week. Yeah, you'd have a half week every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's 70-30. Because 50-50 would be 1 week each. So
Like, it's totally valid to prefer living with your mum because it's more fun. Maybe they have a better setup there. But this isn't about where is most fun. It's about who, like, do you care about having your father in your life? And obviously, again, these are young, naive, dumb teens. They don't understand how important this dynamic is just yet. They're just being coaxed in by their mother and new stepfather, who is, you know, trying to lure them in with like, hey, live with us. It's so much better. It saves us so much more time and money, just you being with us.
So, yeah, a lot of people, I mean, everyone here is saying you're the asshole.
Wow.
I think mainly it's with how he handled it.
Yeah,
The
look,
way that he handled this situation, blaming them for it. You're young adults now. You chose to spend the majority of your time with your mother and you got what you wanted, albeit they were 10 and 12
yeah,
when this kicked off.
yeah,
And they were obviously being dragged through the courts.
Yeah.
One thing that was said to me a lot is, we didn't want to drag you kids through the courts. It's unfair to drag kids through the courts and make them take sides.
Yep.
It's only ever a recipe for disaster. This is the result of dragging your kids through the courts.
yeah,
And then to take it out on them afterwards, yeah, I think that's unfair on OP. I understand the situation that he's in, but I don't think he should be calling them young adults.
yeah,
And I don't think he should be putting the responsibility of young adults on them. I think he should have come up with a more tactful way to not have them come on the vacation.
yeah. I think
Maybe
this,
with his partner,
Yeah.
talk it over a bit more.
yeah, this is a thing where, like, I honestly, despite me defending his him in the situation, I do agree he is the a-hole purely because of how he executed it. He could have easily just been far more straightforward and vulnerable in the sense of, yeah, I am mad that you would find your mum's place more fun. I feel hurt. I feel like you don't want me in your life as much anymore. And honestly, that feeling is so strong in me that I need some time away from you guys to actually just feel wanted. I want to be around people who actually make me feel wanted and loved. I spent 4 years trying to both persuade the legal system and your own mother that I am valid in your lives. And you have both proven to me that you don't think that I matter as much in your life as I thought I did.
I think that's just a conversation to have when they're like 10 years older.
Yeah,
That's the thing. I don't think this is the time.
Well,
Not
honestly,
the
that's
time
the
for
thing. Well, I think this is the thing where no, I think he should say it in this moment. They won't understand it. So what? In this moment, they probably won't. But what matters is you were being honest with them. You weren't being this petty. Fuck you, kids. It's more like, hey, I need you to understand where I am in the situation. You won't understand this now. You'll understand later. I don't know. I would have.
That's parental alienation. That's the problem.
Well,
If you,
I mean,
have to lie
at
to
the
them
end of
sometimes.
this court date, it's like it's all been
Yeah.
resolved. The kids have got what they wanted.
No.
You reckon?
You have to wait until they're like they're independent and they're living their own lives and they're able to have a better perspective of the situation.
I suppose
14 and
I
16,
don't
they're
know.
young. We're projecting our
Yeah,
understanding of social norms onto
that's
this
true.
situation. I let him rant. I understand. Like, let's say
I'm
I'll be a
loving
voice
this,
of reason here.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, I let you go on there so you can get your thoughts out of the world. I get a better idea of where you're coming from.
Yeah.
No. 14 and 16 is way too young. And thankfully, in my experience, we were not dragged through the courts as much as I wanted to and yell at everyone and be like, I'm going to tear both of them to shreds. They both suck ass. I hate these guys. I'm very fortunate that that didn't happen. And my mum kept us out of it completely, left us to our own devices, did not antagonize, did not try to pick sides when the other party was doing that and doing parental alienation. And then you get further down into your life and you realize, wow, this other guy sucks ass. And the other one that has experience with this because they were a lawyer, they know what they're talking about. They know how to handle the situation. Now that I'm on the other side, I really appreciate that she said nothing about it and was just supporting me regardless of all the bullshit that was happening. But she obviously was not faced with a situation where she went overseas and I felt excluded because of that.
Yeah.
So that was not one. But yeah, I think give it 10 years.
Could I offer
in their mid-20s is when you have this conversation.
Could I offer a extra little like input from you? In a sense of if he expressed that stuff without, again, this is the thing where it's like he would have had to prepare this very much, like meticulously write down exact words he's trying to say and the exact meaning he's trying to say behind it, but saying it in a way where it's just him expressing his hurt while still doing the whole reassurance of like, this isn't like your mother's fault. This is the circumstances that have happened. Your mother clearly wants you in her life, and that's valid. But the way things have ended here, the time and money I've spent on this has left me very hurt, very hollow, etc. And you know, the fact you kids are now wanting my time and attention on this very convenient moment where it's a trip that, you know, you've just recently made me feel like this. Is it still parental alienation if he's just letting them understand? Like, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
yeah,
it is.
because like he's not saying
If it's something she can take you back to court over, then yeah. The thing is, you got to choose your words wisely.
Yeah.
When you're legally
No, 'cause
enmeshed like that.
I guess I'm thinking about this sense because like
if you're
yeah,
saying
end
in
of
a
the
way
day,
that she can be like, this is what he said to my kids.
Yeah.
I'm taking even more custody away from this man. And they can absolutely use that as more parental
God, it's so
alienation.
frustrating because she was literally alienating them herself, and now that he would do it more straightforward and honestly, they then just use that against him. They literally, oh god, it's so freaking annoying.
No good favor goes unpunished.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's why I say absolutely. He's the asshole for the way that he went about it. There were better ways to go about this situation. He should have talked to her first to see if she would have done the custody arrangement to allow them to come on the trip with him. Talked to the ex and try to get as much reason as possible to be like, hey, I'm going on this trip. I don't want the kids to hate me. How do we get this message across? I don't want to have all the rabble rousing of the bullshit court that we went through. Talk to a lot of people so that you can let them down easy without getting their hopes up that they could have ever come on the trip.
See, I feel like though in that situation, she's gonna do the whole.
Yeah, but she's not going to take you back to court over it. It's going to be a bump in the road.
I feel like she'd still use that as a justification of like, see, your father doesn't even want you anyway, kids, because he told me this. He said he wanted to work things out, and he, you know, he'd just rather go on this trip alone. He told me that. He said that to me, kids. Like, I just feel like that's what she'd do. And so he's kind of screwed either way with
Yes.
trying to avoid. Like, it sounds
That's
like
the thing.
he just has to let these kids go on
But
this
in
trip.
one of these situations,
Oh.
the ex-wife is much more likely to take you back to court
Yeah,
and use your words
that's true.
against
Yeah,
you.
at least this way is the
This one,
path of
you've
least
established
resistance.
communication with them, and if she does the parental alienation, you can be like, look, pull up the records, let the court know. I have tried my best to be reasonable and establish a middle ground with her.
Yeah.
Can we dismiss this? Whereas instead of him going without any communication with the ex-wife, I just think because they've spent $165,000 to go through the courts, you have to be extremely careful with anything involving the kids.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They are trigger happy and ready to go.
Yeah.
So I'll go through some comments
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
and give you some more
go through
perspective.
comments. Yeah.
You're the asshole. You made it about their choice rather than their unavailability. You could have simply said, your mother has court-ordered custody over you during the days of the trip. I can't change that. But instead, you went the blame route.
That's smart.
That is petty and asshole-ish. Don't blame your children for the difficult position that you and your ex-wife placed them in. They didn't choose the breakdown of their parents' relationship. Or he could have discussed with the kids and the mum before just excluding them. Opie is totally the asshole. Good point. I had just assumed that she wouldn't want or trust her ex to take the kids out of the country after the bitter custody battle. And if that's the case, then she's the bad guy. But the way that OP describes it, he was the man and and the decision was vengeful. Oh, he was angry and the decision was vengeful. Which I get that.
Yeah.
Dude is acting like he's childish. Dude is punishing his children for siding with their mother. I wouldn't be surprised if their inheritance is now proportionate to the time they spend with him too. Which, yeah, they would hold that over the kids' heads and be like, well, the more you spend with him, the less you're getting in the will. So a lot of people are backing that up. I'm just saying, when it comes to these battles, you have to be incredibly tactful and careful.
I was thinking of in a state of like, you know, it seems everyone in this story is trying to shut down how sort of betrayed and isolated the dad sort of feeling from his own kids in terms of like being wanted, but it's also a valid thing of like, yeah, well, he's also a parent to these kids. As much as it can suck and hurt to have to, you know, further hide away and shelf your own feelings of hurt and stuff, these are still your kids, and in the long term, you're probably going to actually appreciate still, even in this sort of moment, making them feel as cared and loved and wanted in your life as much as possible. Even if in
That's
this
the thing,
instance,
there's better ways to go about it. To prove
yeah,
that.
like it's I'm thinking now that you are not that I thought you were wrong in the first place, but like you are more right. Even so, that like it's probably best to have saved this confrontation for when you're adults.
Yeah, so they can more like understand how she is as a person,
Yeah.
and understand how he is as a person
I think-
in adult settings.
I think where I'm being coming from is from my own personal experience of when my dad did eventually express that. It wasn't you made me feel like shit as a father, but just in subtle interaction or like just in conversation over time, it became more and more clear to me that like, oh God, I regret so much of how I treated my dad, and I wish I was aware of that earlier. And I think that's where I'm sort of coming from with this. And again, that doesn't mean I would have behaved better back then. I probably would have just snapped at him more if he became a bit more like, hey, I don't feel like we're connected enough. Let's try and connect. I probably would have been like, oh, God, it's so annoying.
Yeah, but say your parents had been through the same situation where your dad is now 165K in the hole, and you're like, I like mum better. And he suddenly comes out and is like, look, I'm going to piss off for like a week and a bit. You're going to be with your mum. Your cousin's coming, but I'm not taking you. And this is kind of your fault because you chose your mum. I tried everything to be with you, and you guys at the end of the day cost me all this money, and you still chose your mum. I don't understand how. I love you more than she does. She's evil and wicked. If you were yelling at him based on what you already experienced, I can't imagine how you would yell at him if he'd said some shit like that.
I think I probably wouldn't have dared to even expect my dad to let me go on that trip. I would have been like, you know what? Yeah, I think he should be allowed to go.
But
He won't bring me along.
We're projecting our experiences now as we're
as
rational
adults.
adults. Where like we have perspective of hundreds of situations like this. I didn't know shit. when I was 14 to 16 years old. I didn't know anything. I would have just had a violent emotional outburst being like, what?
I remember
What the hell?
I remember in grade 8 boasting to my mother that I don't need to do any more maths. I already know it all.
Nice.
14 years old.
Smart, yeah.
I don't need maths anymore, Mum. I don't know why I'm even doing this subject anymore.
Maths completed it, man.
Don't need it. I know all the maths.
I've known it all, man. Just dropped me from maths down to below maths A.
Yeah.
Wasted my time.
And then she punched me in the face
dude.
because I said she was a terrible mother.
Because I think you were asking for it for that one. You're the asshole.
Yeah, no, it is a sad but very, very valid point here that, yeah, he's an a-hole in just how he's really gone about this. It's, as much as I'd love to encourage a dialogue of his experience and all this, it wasn't the right space to
Not
to
the right time
it.
to do it, no.
Yeah.
Especially with that huge threat of court over your head.
Yeah.
They're ready to go.
As much, as it's, I think it's, you've got to just learn to remain silent until the right moment. Yeah.
So we got some
shame.
comment here just of how they should have handled it, right?
Oh, okay.
So you're the asshole for how you're handling this.
You should have
It'd be
taken the
fi-
soap. Yeah.
True. It'd be fine to go without the children, but the way you're handling it is incredibly petty. You're only pushing your kids away more. OP asks, how do you think that it should have been handled? And they
Ooh.
got negative 111 downvotes for that.
I can't wait.
Jesus. And then Super Gigi replies to them. Super Gigi gets 218 upvotes. Says, you easily could have told them that the trip was during the mum's custody time and just left it at that. But instead you chose to be petty and to blame them. They were put in a very difficult position by you and your ex. It was a long and drawn-out custody battle that your youngest admitted to just wanting to end. Yes, your ex chose to go to court. Yes, you can put the vast majority of the blame onto her if it makes you feel better, but at the end of the day, it was your kids who were most effective. Kids have a way of blaming themselves for things. It can be completely irrational, but they blame themselves. Plus, they had to pick who they wanted to live with. That is incredibly difficult to put onto a child, especially an 8 and 12-year-old. Your kids choosing to live with their mum does not mean they love you any less. Yes, it hurt.
This is a very good point that I haven't really perceived yet.
Yes, it's hard to not take it personally. However, you took out your pain and anger on them. You were actively trying to bury them. You were alienating them. Your attitude over this is going to cause permanent damage to your relationship with your kids. You never once talked to your kids about the trip. You did not invite them. You did not talk to your ex about including them. You were punishing them. You might not be aware, but you are. You might not be aware that you're doing this, but you are. Then you tell your kids that their cousin is going. I'm telling you, that hurts them. They're going to feel that like you love their cousin more. They will feel like you prefer their cousin and dislike them. They are kids. They are not young adults. You saying that they are because the courts referred to them that way is crazy. It further shows that you are trying to justify your anger. You're basically saying, well, they're adults and they should know better. But they're not adults. They are children. Children that you, along with your ex, put in a difficult situation. Children that need to know that you still love them and will always love them. Children who need reassurance. But instead, you're picking them away. You're the asshole.
Hey there. You probably made a comment over the last 5 minutes in response to what I've just been thinking this entire time. This is the part where you can start doing an edit as you realize now that I'm actually now completely on your side and fully agree that, this dad completely missed the mark. And totally, holy crap. I can't believe I didn't even think about the fact that the kids are only really picking sides because they were told to pick sides. They were literally told, where do you want to live? And they're literally like, they weren't asked, who do you love more as a parent? Who would you prefer to be in your life forever versus never again? It was just, where do you want to live the most? That is not at all the same as who do you love more as a parent or who do you think cares for you better? Yeah. But he obviously has taken it that way. I literally perceived it that way.
It's a problem with men these days.
They're so selfish, wanting to be loved by people and wanting to get that validation from them that they are cared for.
Ick.
Ugh, gross. Yeah. You go ahead and edit the comment that's like a huge, valid disagreement to all the things
This
I was saying
dickhead
beforehand.
Jack, with his shit opinions once again, has taken over the podcast.
Edit. Oh, never mind. He changed his opinion. Good.
Oh, there we go. Oh, we knocked some sense into him. Let's go.
Oh, that was a brilliant little roller coaster.
So
That was
I'm
great.
completely on board with how he's feeling. I respect it.
Yeah.
I empathize, but yeah, the way he went about it, definitely wrong.
Yeah.
Even though it feels right to say that. But you have that conversation with them when they're mid-20s.
Yeah.
When they're more emotionally developed, not... When they can handle that and they can have a back and forth with you and they can give it back to you, not when they're 14 and 16.
Yeah.
No.
This is a good example of a man who didn't grow up with learning proper emotional regulation, and so now as he's an adult, he is behaving based off unregulated emotions, but it'll be under a guise of self-righteousness of like. I'm a man who's been told that he's meant to be the more logical person, and I'm behaving logically when they're not. They're actually just behaving emotionally, but they didn't learn how to really understand their emotional state and how to navigate through that. And so they think that's logic, but it's just emotions.
Oh, well, guys, we're growing in real time.
Literally, we've grown like an entire inch over this last hour. It's been great.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Oh no, sorry. I lost an inch somewhere and then grew an inch somewhere else.
Hell yeah. I love the maths. The math is math.
3 left. Jesus. Oh, it's bad enough only having 4.
Right. Well,
yeah.
That's where we ended the episode today, I guess.
Yep. Ending it on
That's a good
only
one.
3 inches.
That's it.
Hell yeah.
That's big in some countries. Mm-hmm.
Which countries?
Yeah.
You little racist.
Like one
Come
of
on.
those? No, I'm
Tell me
just
which
saying.
country that's from, huh?
This one.
Generalize an entire population for
This
us.
one right here. Some people would say it's too big, honestly. That's quite a hefty girth you're working with. Really, my country. This one right here, guys. That's my sweeping generalization.
Yep. Good save. Good save.
Well, thanks for watching, guys. We're gonna head off now.
Yeah.
I'll see you in the next episode.
Bye. Love
Bye.
you. Mwah. Oh my god, I can't wait for the comments on that one.